Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic medium, and today I'm going to be talking about the end of the Republican Party. Do I look gleeful to you? Because I feel gleeful. I literally wore pink. There's hope at the end of the tunnel, the spirit guides want to say. And also, I just want to say that I'm doing this video because they're the ones that were chattering at me about this. I literally put everything down and sat down and did this video because it all makes so much sense now, right? Everything they've been saying to me and, to you through me for months now makes sense. Like why it's becoming clear to me now, I don't know, but it is. So here's the thing, you guys. First of all, they wanted me to say, because they were trying to use a word. Now, if you're new here, I'm channeling this. I'm about 60% spirit guides, 40% Susan, which means that I'm translating their message into words and they give it to me in thoughts, feelings, ideas, whatever. And earlier they were trying to use this word, and I do this all the time in my videos. Like that's not a word. Sometimes it is a word, and I got to Google it, and I'm like, yeah, that's a word. Sometimes I'm like, that's not a word. And what was the word they were using? Something to do with rationalizing. Is rationalizing a word? Something about rationalizing. And then they said, which I think is hilarious, they said, human is not our first language, which I loved because it's true. Their understanding of my vocabulary and my, sometimes they do give me words that I don't even know what they are. They give me medical names. They do that all the time when I'm doing these videos. I don't know what it is. I have to Google it later and put it on the screen. But anyway, let's talk about the end of the Republican Party, because that's why I'm here, and I'm pretty sure that's why you're here too. So here's why it all makes sense. The spirit guides often talk in metaphors. They always talk in stories. They always talk in allegories, whatever you want to call them. Examples. And one of the examples they were giving a while back was, I was seeing sort of this group, let's call it the Republicans, let's call it the Republican Party. Actually, they're saying it's the whole energy. The energy is the Republican Party, meaning the elected officials, but also the paid consultants, the campaign aides, and also the people that vote Republican. So they're putting all these people together, imagine, if you will, in this herd of people that are running. The energy is they're running for their lives. We're not chasing them. Maybe Jack Smith is, but you broke a crime, you got to do the time. Hello, Fonnie Willis, right? But other than that, we ain't chasing them because frankly, they kind of stinky and we don't want to be anywhere near them. So we're not going to be chasing you. They run in because they're scared of their own shadow, or perhaps karma is chasing them and they're going over a cliff. I'm just going to give you the end of the book right here. Like some of y'all do that. Some of y'all read the end of the book before you start. I do not. But for some of you that do, they go over the cliff. Now, what does that mean? What are you talking about, Susan? Well, let me tell you. Well, first of all, we've already been telling you. A long time ago, we started telling you that the Republican Party would split into two, meaning the one part, maybe there would be a new party, right? So they want me to clarify that. Okay, we have to go back to Liz Cheney. She stepped out of the Republican Party. Honestly, between you and me, Liz, you were voted out, honey. They voted your butt out. But anyway, you joined Jan 6, you did the right thing, and they voted you out. And we've already talked to you about this until we're blue in the face, honestly. Liz Cheney wants the control of America to be through American greed, American companies, American oligarchs. She doesn't want control of the United States of America happening from an outside source, like an outside country. And that's where she drew the line. That's where Pence drew the line. They said, no. We need to make the money, not some other country. It's sad, but true. So here we are. They said she will help destroy the Republican Party. Now, she's not doing anything to them. She's simply making sure that their own crimes don't go unnoticed or unpunished. So she is participating in that way. And she did during Jan 6. And that certainly has had a big role to play in the trouble the Republican Party is in now, or let's say the legal trouble. Now, here's the deal. Here's why. Can I just go to I just want to go to the point. Here's why, and I can always back up if they want me to explain something, I can always back up. Here's the thing that became crystal clear today, and that is that the Republican Party cannot allow the Democrats to do the same thing. Now, what do I mean? I mean Tuberville. Tuberville is, a traitor. He's a traitor. He's blocking our military. He's making us unsafe. He's not an American, in my opinion. And what if a Democrat did that? What if a Democrat did that, right? What if a Democrat took secret documents allegedly from the White House and allegedly sold them or used them to show off? What if a Democrat did half of what these Republicans have done? What if we did it to them? Not tenable, not going to happen, not going to work. Therefore, it has to stop. But the problem is that it can't stop. Let me clarify that. It can stop and it will stop, but it will not stop in the sense that we're not going to just pass a law that says one senator can block all of these military. We're not going to just change the Senate rules because there's too many rules to change. We've discussed this, right? There's too many loopholes. And we have discussed that the Democrats will be in charge in 24. They'll be in charge of the House and the Senate and the presidency. And there's a lot of heavy lifting to do. And they'll do as much as they can. I do feel like we really need a couple of new amendments. We need to really tackle the SCOTUS problem, the Supreme Court justice problem. We need to tackle dark money, voting, equal rights, abortion, racism, a lot of big things to tackle. But what I'm understanding today is this: regardless of whether we pass those laws in 24 or 25 or 26, regardless, the Republican Party cannot continue to exist as it is, not for the reason that Democrats want it to go away or anything like that, but that the Republicans themselves understand that they've created Frankenstein. Frankenstein is now running amok and causing them harm, and that if they allow this to happen within their own party, there really is a possibility that the Democrats are going to do it to them in the future. And they can't abide by this. This is the new energy. This is why I'm doing this video right now, because the new energy suggests that where you do have those Republicans like Cheney and Pence and a handful of, I'm trying to come up with a nice word, but I'm having a hard time saying the word moderate because they're not moderate. Cheney voted 90% plus for Trump. That's not moderate. But simply, they understand that they are shooting themselves in their own foot. And the guides use that exact same metaphor actually many times, that they shot each toe, not the foot, but they shot each of their toes. So this is the energy. It cannot stand. It cannot stand. It's like you throw a ball in the air. Well, honey, sooner or later, it's going to come down. It's called the law of the universe. This is the same energy around these Republicans. It cannot stand. The Freedom Caucus cannot stand. McCarthy, all of these people that have voted against our Constitution, against the fabric, the very Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, the very fabric of our country. They voted against it. They are against it. It's anathema. It cannot stand. So, and I feel this in a way I've never felt it. I've perhaps known it, like I've seen it. I've seen the visual. I've acknowledged the information from the spirit guides. I've acknowledged the likelihood, right? Like, I'm pretty sure this is going to happen, to the degree that I'll put my face on YouTube and say, this is what the guides are saying, right? I believe it. But now, you all, I feel it. I know it. I know it. I know it like the sun is going to come up tomorrow. That's how I know it. Now it's a matter, and you know, maybe something has happened on the down low with Liz Cheney, with some machinations or some kind of under the surface. There does seem to be some under the surface connections, deals, some under the surface deals have been made. No, are in the works of being made. It's right. There's, wow. There's deals being made. It's sort of, if you will, the representatives of dark money. So I'm not saying that dark money is calling up the White House or the DOJ or, you know, Schumer or, anybody in the Democratic, Jeffries, anybody. I'm saying that representatives of dark money, without being representative. Okay. I don't know how else to describe this except for that I see dark money. I see these representatives, and the representatives are going to everybody. They're going to the FBI. They're going to the DOJ. They're going to the CIA. They're going to the NSA. They're going to chiefs of staff. I mean, everybody. There is a sense of coming clean. Now, the thing I need to further explain to you guys is that dark money is connected to these representatives, but the representatives are not saying they're connected to dark money. Dark money is not in the communication. But I'm telling you energetically, it's in the communication. And I'm also telling you that these, what they would be calling government professionals, but they would also be calling them intelligence professionals, meaning they have a career. Their career CIA, their career NSA, FBI, ATF, they're career people. Also DOJ, I don't know who that is. I think it's a prosecutor. They know, nobody's saying it out loud, but everybody knows that these representatives are representing the shadow. But the shadow will not be named, shall not be spoken aloud. So anyway, these representatives would be people who understand that the system is broken, and that, what they care about, frankly, is money. They don't care about, citizens. They don't care about the Constitution. They care about money. And what they're afraid of is this is going to affect their money. And I do see, right, the Democrats want to raise taxes on the wealthy. I mean, that's a stated platform agenda. No bones about it. There's no secret about this. And I feel like there's, again, in these underground tunnels of communication, this is a big deal, you guys. This is I don't know what are they talking about? They're talking about atoms. I think they're talking about President Adams and President McKinley. And I don't know why they're like, this is a big deal since that era. I am not a history buff, and I am only 40% of whatever little bit I do have. All I got is 40%. It's a big deal. It's a great big deal. Okay, what is the big deal? The big deal is that these entities, these people, because they're people, they're humans, these humans are offering a deal, like a plea deal, not in a court of law. Again, in this way that power meets. Powerful people do things differently. And so these powerful people are meeting with our government professionals and saying, we give up. Seriously, waving the white flag. We give up. You already have Trump. We don't need to give you him. You've got him. He's dead to rights. That game is over. That ship has sailed. However, you're going to be looking at some of these Congress people. We know the usual suspects. Some of these senators. We know the usual suspects. SCOTUS, Supreme Court judges. We know the usual suspects. We want to make a deal with you. Not only are we going to help you get them, because we have corroborating information, we have evidence, hard evidence, and I mean written evidence, signed signatures, voice recordings, video recordings, not all necessarily directly criminal, but also just damning, like, Thomas on another yacht or whatever, but all of the above. I mean, it's a pretty nice binder. It's not, it's not Susan Summer, it's a photo album of freaking, why the word hellscape came to mind. Hellscape, like crimes, and just absolute, just things that would be very embarrassing. Okay. And we've already told you that the Republicans don't step down for embarrassing anymore. However, I feel like it's like that's the icing on this cake. The crime is one thing, and it's enough. It's enough. The evidence is enough. It's enough of a splash. If it's enough of a pow, of a bang, to get someone to be put on leave. And then these pictures that are damning, potentially criminal, icing on the cake, they're going to want to crawl into a hole somewhere. So what's interesting is that there's this group that is trying to preserve the Republican Party. They're trying to preserve their power. And they understand, last couple of videos, have been using the analogy of cancer. You use the chemo to shrink the cancer, and then hopefully you cut it out, right? That's why we didn't cut it out from the very beginning. We needed to shrink the cancer. And I'll tell you, and I've said this before, they're reminding me, and that is that it's important that Tario, the Proud Boys, or whatever boy he is, got sentenced. These big ringleaders got sentenced in the last week. It was as if, and I've said this before, they're telling me, it was as if this had to happen before we could do the next thing. It literally, they had to be sentenced. The next step could not happen until they were in prison for whatever reason. So let's go back to this group. So they're actively, and I want to say this whole month, although this started in August, and it may culminate in October, that they're handing over these people. I just saw MTG. They're handing them over. Whoever the bomber is, they're handing that person over. They're handing over the person who disabled the panic buttons on those desks. They're handing over the real people. As I said, Trump's already set sail. He's a history. He's gone. there's an urgency to this energy. And that is why I'm sitting here right now doing this video, because I feel the urgency as well. There's an urgency of, if we don't do this now, if we don't cut ties with them right now, they're going to do something else. They are planning something else. And we cannot let that happen. And again, please don't think that these people are coming forth because they're patriots. They're worried about their stock portfolio. They're worried about the something else causing real problems with their money, with their investments. And they just need to go back. They want to go back to some normalcy, because what they're showing me is they can't predict their investment growth, right? I mean, nothing is 100%. Nothing is safe, so to speak. However, they have their people that do this work, and you can literally assign a risk to a natural disaster or whatever. You can assign a risk factor to that, and then you can hedge for that. But where we are now, they cannot assign a risk factor for it. It's not predictable. And it's totally freaked them out. So they realize this is relatively small. Why, Adams? Why? This is a relatively small group of people, but they have the goods. They have the goods on the bigger group of people. And they're willing to. I'm asking if Liz Cheney is in there, and Adam Kinzinger. Absolutely. Even more Adam than Liz. I mean, Liz is there, but Adam is there. I don't like or trust either one of them. But in as much as they want to try to save their own party and start acting like Americans or humans would be good. I'm all for that. So the bottom line is that there's a deal being struck. And this is the information. Well, that's what I said. This is the information that Jack Smith needs. So I was upset a month ago because the timeline that I saw, and the reason that I was able to keep my equanimity, is because I saw these Congress people being arrested, and that was going to put into place like these dominoes falling. It was going to create, the end result was, well, we remove these dangerous people from voting positions, from affecting and impacting our country. And then secondarily, it creates this more of this bipartisanship, and it brings the Republican Party, maybe a mile closer to the center. Okay, so that's something, right? That really would create a much more positive, forward-looking environment for us to pass legislation. Okay, and then that didn't happen. It didn't happen when I thought it was supposed to happen. The way I read the energy was Fani Willis was going to be instigating that she was going to be the one. And now there are, however many 30 people that are not named yet. However, what I see now is, when I read the energy and I talk to the spirit guides, the person who has the last say is the person, because we have free will. So the person that has the last say here is Fani Willis and Jack Smith. And they decided to do it differently. So now what I think is happening is that because this has switched to the DOJ from the state of Georgia, we know that the DOJ has to have something like 90 or 95% certainty of a verdict, a guilty verdict, of a complete win, or they just won't even take the case. for whatever reason. This is what I understand. This is apparently advertised, stated, public, whatever. So now that Jack Smith is going to be the one detaining these people, is the word they want to use. I wanted to use wrestling them, but apparently wrestling was not in the alien handbook language, human to alien spirit guide translation handbook. So retaining, or whatever the word they said, he has a higher bar. He has a higher bar to meet. And these people make that happen. Now, what's the deal? Right? I mean, the guide said there was a deal being struck, and the deal does not, it's not about, again, it's about money. It's not about these people going to jail or not going to jail. It's not that at all. This is a backdoor deal. This probably is going to make some of you mad, but I don't know where you've been living, because this, in our world, in our society, this is how stuff gets done. I mean, on the school board, at work, in your county, in your town, city, country, there's always the powerful people always meet and decide. Okay. That's why it's important to be at the table, right? If you're not at the table, you're dinner. So you need a seat at the table. So here's the deal. The deal is that it's about taxes. It's about, we're gonna reset. We're gonna capitulate. I mean, there's this real sense of, we're gonna like cut off our arms. I mean, that's kind of how these people feel. We're really capitulating. We're on our knees, but we're still gonna ask. but we're still gonna ask for that tax break. It's sad, but true. So the bottom line is, I don't care, right? Are we going to get back up to a 1950s level taxation? No. If we could just get up to, Clinton era taxation, I'd be happy, right? So there's negotiation. I'm okay with negotiation, and then, in my opinion, I'm wearing freaking festive pink today. I'm like, sure. What deal do you want? I mean, who wouldn't make a deal with these people to get rid of these basket of deplorables, these terrible traitors, these seditious traitors, right? Who wouldn't make a deal? I'd make a deal. I'd make a deal in a minute over some taxes. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we'll charge you 25% taxes instead of 50. No problem. Because right now, what were you paying under Trump, like 12 or something? I mean, come on. So it's still, my point is, it's still a net positive. We're still in a net positive, which I think is good. So these people, and these are crusty. I don't know why they want to use the word crusty. Well, because they are. I mean, they look old, wizened. I mean, Adam, he's not crusty, but I'm telling you, these people don't look human to me. So I don't know. I think that's the dark money. The dark money might be the crusty ones, because they kind of look like lizard aliens to me. I think that's where I got the crusty part. Do not dwell on that image. I wouldn't advise you to dwell on that image. Okay, anyway, all that matters is that as if by magic, these people are going to go down. Now, the magic part, magic isn't going to do well in a court of law. So there is real evidence. But the magic part is, where did the evidence come from? I don't know that we're really going to know all of that. I don't know that we're going to know. I'm telling you, people like Harlan Crow might turn on Thomas. The people that have been giving them the largesse, the money, are going to turn on them, because they have to. They're not going to win. They get it. They see the score. They can see the outcome of this situation. And they know that somebody like Jack Smith is going to mow right through those Congress people and keep on going until he gets to Harlan Crow. So if you're Harlan Crow, you're going to pretty much give this person, probably Jack Smith, everything and more. You're going to bury those people who have something negative or allegedly criminal that could come back to you. You're going to cut your losses. You're going to make a deal. You're going to make a deal. So that's why this is the end of the Republican Party. And we're never going to have to do this again. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? We're never going to have a senator holding up careers, military distinguished careers, over his own hubris. We're not going to have these opportunities of grit, grind, grift, and crime and anti-Americanism. We're not going to have it anymore. This door will be closed. It will be nailed shut. And therefore, to do that, they have to get rid of the people in the Republican Party that created the problem. The problem has to go. The people that created it have to go. Because the Republicans can't sleep at night thinking the Democrats will do the same thing to them. They've gone too far. They've jumped the shark. They've gone too far. The dog caught the car. Whatever metaphor you want to use. Game over. There's a winner. There's a loser. There will be a rematch. But it will not be the same game. The game will change. And it's a good thing for the United States of America. Let me know what you think in the comments. And, maybe we shouldn't celebrate right now, but heck, why not? Why not? Let's just celebrate. It's over, people. Now, my guides are usually 3 months. We're usually months in advance of these things. So the wheels could fall off of this bus. Something could happen this month. I mean, we've predicted something's going to happen this month. I don't know. It could be a shot across the bow. Whatever happens this month is not but a scratch in the paint of what's going to happen at the end of this. Okay, so whatever we predicted this month, the big crash, boom, bang in the middle of the month, even if it is something like the bomber is identified or something like indictments fly for these Congress people, if that happens, then you know a deal was made. That's step one, folks. We still have a democracy. We still have courts. We still have innocent until proven guilty. And that will take some length of time. So whatever happens this month, shot across the bow. It's not the thing, but it certainly is an indication that we are on that timeline and that this is all getting wrapped up. The energy suggests all of this is just getting wrapped up. This timeline is getting balled up, thrown in the trash can, and we're going to start a new timeline with new players, with a new version of the Republican Party, whether it has a new name, whether it's the same Republican Party, however, minus, 10 people, 15 people, who knows? That will certainly be as big a shakeup. I mean, historically speaking, have we ever had that where we've indicted 8 to 10 sitting members of our Senate and Congress? Have we ever experienced that in our history? That's a big shakeup, people. And that's why 24 is going to be, fun. It's going to be fun, like a roller coaster fun. We're going to go up, but we're going to go down, but we're going to get off of it. We're going to be fine. Okay, everybody? Let me know what you think in the comments. Take really, really good care of yourselves, and we'll talk soon. Susan Lynn, Psychic Medium, signing out. for entertainment purposes only.